Hello everyone, my name is Jürgen, and tonight we will be dealing with runes. I'm going to go through these alphabetically, state their runic use, and their merkstave. Alright, let's begin with Ansuz. Ansuz is the messenger rune. It represents the letter A in Elder Futhark. It's pretty much the type of rune you'd use if you were, say, sending a message to the gods or attempting to do divination. Merkstaved would mean miscommunication with the gods. Now we have Berkana, which is the female rune. It is seen as a more, feminine rune, and could be used in, say, fertility when combined with Ingus or Lagus, or both, preferably. Merkstaved, it would be more of a painful rune, more of a resentful rune, rather than nurturing and mother-like. Next we have Dagaz, which is actually letter D in the Older Futhark alphabet. It represents day, and when it's merkstaved, it's more of a night/secretive shady rune. Next we have Awaz, which is the horse rune. It's useful for, obviously, horsing other deities like Odin or Frigga, or you could also horse Envatir spirits, Jotuns, really whatever. Merkstaved, it's more of a miscommunication. When paired with a merkstave rado, it could mean like the destruction of transportation or attempting to stop something from reaching its goal. Next we have Feu, which is letter F in Elder Futhark. Feu is more of a possessions and cattle rune. Pretty much what it is it's the item rune. When merkstaved, it can often mean the loss of an item or the destruction of an item. Then we have Gebo, which is letter G in the Elder Futhark alphabet. It is the gift rune, and when merkstaved, definitely means like a thief or the loss of a gift or a loved one. Then we have Hagalaz, which I like to think of it as the glass half empty or glass half full type of rune. Me personally, I'm an optimist, so I like to think it's a glass half full rune, meaning trials rather than hardship. It is H in Elder Futhark, and when it's merkstaved, it's definitely a trial and fail. It's your glass half empty side. Next we have Isa, which is the rune of ice, representing I in the Elder Futhark alphabet. Merkstaved, it means like the cutoff of communications through friends or relatives or relationships. It's kind of a deterioration, the rot rune. After that we have Hira, which is the harvest rune. It represents J and Y, you'll see that later. And it is definitely the harvest rune or cycle rune. It could be like the moon cycle, the sun cycle, the seasons, pretty much anything that has to do with cycle. Merkstaved, it's pretty much like a famine rune, the loss of crops, the loss of fertility, that sort of stuff. After that we have Kenaz, which represents K. It's the rune of light or torch. When I was younger and I used to meditate a lot, I still do, I would actually write it on my forehead, and that would help me gain the knowledge in which I sought. Merkstaved, it definitely means like ignorance or the loss of knowledge. On to Lagus, which is letter L in the Elder Futhark alphabet. It is the rune of flow, the rune of water. When merkstaved, it's definitely like a dam. It can be like the stopping of the flow of creativity or even life. It can be seen as a death rune when merkstaved. After that we have Manaz, which is the masculine rune. When paired with Tewaz, it can be like a young warrior symbol. It represents M in Elder Futhark. When merkstaved, it's definitely the rune of weakness, a loss of strength. After that we have Mathiz, which I think of like I do Hagalaz. It's the glass half full, glass half empty situation. One side of it is need or desire, like the desire of love or the desire of money even. But when merkstaved, it definitely symbolizes like a depravity, like a lust, a need. It represents N in Elder Futhark. Next we have Othila, which is the rune of inheritance. I actually have this rune right up here on my altar, surrounded by roses. The whole point of that is to symbolize how we inherited Midgard. After Odin, Vil, and V took down Ymir, spilled his blood to create the oceans, and bound his body, And then they created Ask and Embla, which were the first two people. We inherited Midgard, which was once Ymir, so that's what that symbolizes. Merkstave, it can mean the loss of something, the loss of an item or inheritance. Basically just loss in general. After that we have Perthro, which is the pleasure rune. It is also like the surprise rune, but it's usually good surprises. It symbolizes P in the Elder Futhark, and when Merkstave, it's definitely like ill omens, just bad tidings in general. Next we have Rado, which is the journeying rune. It represents R in the Elder Futhark alphabet, and is probably the most commonly used rune to pathwalk, or to help aid pathwalking. Me myself, I'll use it in conjunction with Alges, the rune of protection, and Kanaz, the torch rune, to really get the most out of my pathwalking and divinations. Merkstave Rado is in essence the binding rune. It can stop magical potential, or even the ability to pathwalk itself. Next we have Suelo, which is the rune of justice. This rune can represent like divine justice, or even a crusader's justice. Merkstave, it's definitely the rune of guilt, and it represents S in the Elder Futhark. Next we've got Tewaz, which is the warrior rune. This rune represents strength, muscle, willpower, but when Merkstave, it's the rune of weakness, the rune of cowardice. You would use this in a curse to say, make someone fear you, or to fear something, to definitely instill fear of some sort within someone. Next we have Uruz, which is the rune of the Auroch, which was a type of cattle. It's the wild rune. It like represents the animal inside of us, the more primal thoughts. This rune is definitely, when Merkstave, can symbolize, I wouldn't say civility, but more like a cold personality. When Merkstave, it can definitely symbolize the tameness or subordinates or slave. Next we've got Wunjo, which is W in the Elder Futhark alphabet, and it is the rune of joy or glory. When combined with Gebo, it can mean like the gift of glory or joy, which can actually be a really nice staff. It really depends on how you use it as far as meaning. When you use it with Gebo, it would mean like the gift of joy or to be happy. But when you would say use it with Tewaz, it would be the gift of glory, like winning a battle. And to end our alphabetical streak here, we have Alges, which is the rune of protection. This rune represents the letter Z in the Elder Futhark alphabet. When Merkstave, Alges definitely has more of a destructive property rather than defensive. After this we have Thurisaz, which is the rune of the thorns and the runes of the giants. This rune represents the more primordial strengths of the lands like Jotunheim, Muspelheim, and Niflheim. When Merkstave, it simply just means dwindling, or to lose something. It has the letters TH. After this we have Inguz, which is the fertility rune. It has the letters N and G. This rune, when Merkstave, really is like the loss of fertility, which can either mean like a farm or even a person, or the loss of like the nurturing of one's mind, the ability to learn. After this, last but not least, we have Iwaz, which is the keeper of the flame. This rune has the letters I and E in it, and it really symbolizes, when Merkstave, the loss of passion, which can cut both ways, either mean the loss of ambition or the loss of love, depending on how you look at it. And now we're going to kind of go through an overview of how to pronounce the runes and what they look like. Just one more time for memory. First, we have Ansuz. Next, Berkina. Dagaz. Ewaz. Feu. Gebo. Hagalas. Isa. Hira. Kenaz. Lagos. Manas. Nothiz. Othila. Perthro. Rado. Suelo. Tewaz. Uruz. Wunjo. Hira. Alges. Iwaz. Thurisaz. And Inguz. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. My next one should be about Galdor or Galdorostafur. Thanks for watching.